Thank you very much. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Nice to meet you all. My name is Nanang Zubaidi, and I will be the room moderator for the session. We will have about, let me check it. We will have about 6 presentations for today. And I see that there are some presenters already joining the session, the presentation sessions. So including Ibu Elka Anakota. So without further ado, I would like to invite Ibu Elka Anakota as our first presenter. So Ibu Elka Anakota will from check it again. I apologize. From Institute Agama Kristen Negeri Ambon, we'll discuss about building trust and tolerance in Karyu and Ori conflict as semiotic applications to headline online news about Karyu incident 25 of January 2022. We will have 15 minutes, including 10 minutes for presentation, and then another 5 minutes or between 3 to 5 minutes extra time for question and answer. So without further ado, our first presenter, Ibu Elka Anakota, time's yours.
Okay, thank you. I will share screen my presentation. Okay, the first one, I would like to show you about where is Karyu and Ori. This is the map of Maluku, and Karyu and Ori is the part of Haruku Island. Is in the island of Central Maluku Regency, Maluku Province, lying in Ambon Island. This is Karyu, the part of Haruku Island, the southern coast of Seram and just west of Saparua Island. It is administrated as a single district, Kecamatan Pulau Haruku. And this is the Karyu. Karyu and Ori is the neighborhood in the part of Haruku Island. Okay, I will start with the part of the introduction. There were several social conflicts in Indonesia, in Aceh, Ambon, Maluku, Kalimantan, Sulawesi, Papua, and Java. And the occurrence of social conflicts in various regions show the government's inability to mediate, and finally, the use of ethnic, religion, and racial symbols becomes dominant in the conflict. Maluku was an area exploited by elite interests and resulted in conflict that began in 1999, which initially began with inter-ethnic conflict and developed in conflict between Islam and Christianity. After the conflict, Maluku people lived poisoned by the suspicion and mutual distrust are built up in religious life. Meantime, the history of conflict between countries on the island of Haruku, not the new one, even without using the background of Maluku riots that led in religious conflict in Islamic countries are around Haruku Island, there are often conflict about unclear land ownership boundaries. In the first half after the conflict in early 1999 in Ambon, riots continued to spread sporadically, including in Haruku, Saparua, and Jazirah Hitu, to the southern part of Seram. One of the worst regions in Haruku Hit is Kariu region, a Christian region, which was then expelled from his land and took a long time to return to his region, about 9 years. Okay, we can spell it. The incident of the attack of the land of Kariu of January 25, 2022, starting from the absence of a land boundary settlement between the land of Ori, an Islamic region, and the land of Kariu, a Christian region. An attack was carried out the land of Kariu, which resulted the people of Kariu had to get out of their homeland. The incident of the attack of Kariu is interesting to study in online mass media, which is currently very fast in accessibility, so that it has considerable influence on the ongoing efforts to build trust and tolerance in Maluku. For Kariu itself, awakening of sense of trust for the second time after being expelled from their homeland for 10 years, 9 and 10 years, and after rebuilding his country, had to experience another attack that consumed his property and required them to lift their feet from their land again for a second time. How I will do this research? This research will use a qualitative approach with semiotic of Roland Barthes, which is an analysis technique of online news headline circulating or published during the Kariu region attack on January 25, 2022. Online media were randomly selected, including Tribun.com, Kompas.com, Siwa5.com, Malukuterkini.com, Porostimur.com, SpectrumOnline.com, Maluku e-News ID headlines public exactly 1 day after the incident attack on Kariu, January 25, 2022. This is the findings that I compiled from headline news. Tribun.com wrote the main story of the attack of the Kariu country on January 25, 2002 with the title Jurnalisme Damai untuk Bentrok Ori Kariu. Peaceful journalism for the Kariu Ori clash. Kompas.com wrote with the title Kampung Kariu dibakar, sejumlah warganya tewas. Maluku e-News write the news with the title Polisi ditembak OTK di Maluku Tengah, peluru tembus kedua pipi. Malukuterkini.com wrote a story with the title Sejumlah aparat TNI Polri diterjunkan ke Kariu Ori. Berita1.com wrote its main story with the title Bentrok di Maluku Tengah, satu polisi alami luka tembak di pipi. Pikiranrakyat.com wrote a story with the title Desa Bentrok dan puluhan rumah dibakar. Polisi terjunkan pasukan. Porostimur.com wrote a story with the title Aji Ambon imbau media massa untuk menggunakan jurnalisme damai, beritakan bentrok Oriu Kariu. Siwa5news.com wrote the news with the title Aparat gabungan dikerahkan tangani konflik Ori Kariu. And bentrok Ori Kariu, Kapolda minta warga tak terprovokasi. Spectrum.com wrote the news with the title, Polisi didesak ungkap pelaku penyerangan dan pembantaian. Dan Kapolda ungkap warga Pulau Haruku tahan diri. Satumaluku.id wrote news about the title with the title Kapolda Maluku dan Danrem 151 Binaya sambangi warga berkonflik di Maluku. And bentrok warga di Pulau Haruku, begini penjelasan Kapolda. How then the news headlines are connected to Barthes semiotics can be seen in the following description. In the annotation and connotation. In the annotation, words used in the online news headline include peace journalism, Oreo-Karyo clashes, Karyo village burn, police developed troops, clashes in central Maluku, 1 police officer injured, village clashes, dozens of houses burned, police deployed troops, reported clashes Ori-Karyo, joint forces are deployed, handle the Karyo-Ori conflict, residents are not provoked, police are urged to reveal perpetrators, attacks and measures, residents of Haruku Island hold back, visit residents in conflict in Haruku, residents clash on Haruku Island. In connotation, there were 4 types. First, reporting on the incident. For example, conveyed very clearly by Compass.com, Karyo village was burned. A number of its residents died. The part number 2, reporting on victims of incidents. The Compass.com headline clearly states that the village was burned and residents died. Pikiran Rakyat also wrote in allegation that the village clashed and dozens of houses were burned, while other online news report on large covered directly with the term Ori-Karyo conflict or clashes between residents in central Maluku. The part number 3, reporting on the involvement of security forces. For example, in the news on malukuterkini.com, pikiranrakyat.com, siwalimanews.com, and terasmaluku.com. And the part number 4, reporting on the position of journalists. For example, on reports on tribunambon.com and porostimor.com, which directly indicate the position of the reporter who impedes journalism in reporting what is going on in Karyo region.
Excuse me, Dr. Anakota, we have 3 minutes left.
Okay, right. I will go in this one. The most of the online news headlines try to show one day after the Karyo attack incident is the orientation of news that want to deny reality of that happened. The attack itself has buried the trust is being fostered by the Karyo people after the events of their departure for their country in 1999 riots. Not to mention that the trust has been completely built. The attacks are carried out again for the second time. They have to leave their own homeland. Cooperation is needed to create peace and tolerance, to build trust and tolerance. Trust is no longer owned because in the land and the house itself can no longer be done. Always living in threat and not calm, emotion like this certainly do not build trust, build doubt, and very possibly hatred. I will show you about the continue what's going on now after the incident of 25 January 2022. This is the condition how the Karyo houses in Karyu was burned. The village called Karyu was burned. And then the elders, woman, child have to leave the village through the forest and come to village called Aboru, and they lived in there just in tents until now. I will end with the conclusion for this research. The incident of the attack of the Kari region made the people of this homeland finally become refugees in their neighboring region. Being refugees for the second time, and who knows when they will return to their own homes and lands, are facts that are denied on the online news headline. Okay, thank you. I will stop
Thank you very
sharing.
much. Thank you very much, Dr. Anakota. Before we are going to question and answer, we would like to ask first if there is any other presenter wishing to present at the moment. So we have in our list Dr. Zefania Arila Suharjo, Dr. Abirama Perdana, Dr. Karina Fevi Laksana, and others. Dr. M. Khairi and others, Dr. Maria Mintawati and Dr. Yeski Putri Utami. Are any of you? All right, so it seems like there is no other presenter at the moment. So we can open question and answer discussions. If participants would like to ask questions, you can turn on your microphone or write down in your chat. All right, I would like to open questions, Dr. Anakota. I have two questions. The first question would be, is it a new conflict, or basically this is an old conflict but then erupt at that point? So that was my first question. What do you think?
Yeah, this is not a new one, because in Ori and Karyu there is several problems about batasan. Jadi batasan warga, rumah warga antara satu desa dengan desa yang lain. Dan Ori and Karyu is a neighborhood. They live together in one land in Haruku Island. It's happened time to time, and I think pemerintah sendiri tidak memperhatikan secara seksama apa yang terjadi sampai saat ini. Padahal konflik di tahun 1999 sebenarnya menurut saya sendiri adalah benih-benih yang tidak bisa dibersihkan sampai pada saat ini. Jadi ini buktinya, salah satu buktinya. Ada konflik-konflik yang lain juga. Tapi ini membuktikan bahwa sebenarnya ada benih-benih yang tidak dibersihkan sejak konflik 99 yang kemudian akhirnya dapat mempermudah terjadinya situasi-situasi seperti ini.
All right, thank you so much. While waiting for other question, I would like to also to ask. So basically, this is not a new conflict, but then old conflict, and then keep going, and then basically 1991 is just one eruption of the conflict, and this one is another new case of that kind of conflict. Be it because of religious reason or because of unclear land ownership. So another question which I would like to ask, could you comment on the media framing and the media bias between these medias? I mean, like it's not really discussed in your question, but then could you just comment on what do you think about the media framing and the bias in that media?
Yeah, I think masing-masing media kan punya latar belakang kekuasaan yang tidak bisa kita tutupi, ya, sehingga terjadi bias memang di dalam pemberitaan. Jadi seharusnya pemberitaan ketika memang diperlukan adanya perdamaian di sana, ketika diperlukan adanya kepercayaan yang harus dibangun pada warga yang mengalami insiden ini, itu tidak bisa tercover di sana. Justru yang ditunjukkan itu jangan terlalu diprovokasi dong. Padahal apa yang terjadi, yang nyata dan terjadi di Kariu justru tidak diangkat. Jadi kalau yang saya lihat sendiri, yang paling yang menunjukkan apa yang memang terjadi di Kariu itu adalah dari Kompas. Justru berita-berita online lokal itu sebenarnya tidak berpihak pada apa yang terjadi pada Kariu. Saya tidak bicara tentang Kristen dan Islam, tapi bahwa ketika kelompok ini, ketika daerah ini memang mengalami sesuatu satu ketidakadilan, justru itu yang harus dinampakkan. Tapi itu tidak dinampakkan oleh media.
Okay, really interesting. Thank you so much. So regarding my last question, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tidak apa-apa.
What about your solutions which you propose? I'm thinking that these solutions are really representative about the cases of not only in Maluku but as well as in many other places like in Poso and as well in Indonesia, any other part of Indonesia. Can you elaborate more about your proposals on how we should fix this kind of problem?
Ya, Haruku, jadi Kariu dan Ori itu ada di bagian dari pemerintah Maluku Tengah. Dan menurut saya pihak pemerintah sendiri tidak menaruh perhatian yang serius untuk ini, sangat tidak serius. Jadi setelah kejadian itu 2 hari sampai 3 hari, baru mereka kemudian menunjukkan keseriusan untuk menangani itu. Dan sampai sekarang pun semua penduduk Kariu itu belum kembali ke desa mereka. Mereka masih tinggal di tetangga desa mereka yaitu Aburu dan belum berani kembali karena belum bisa dijamin kedamaian di sana, bahwa mereka bisa tinggal dan tidak diserang lagi di desanya sendiri. Karena itu menurut saya yang paling berkompeten pada saat ini adalah pemerintah daerah. Tapi kalau misalnya pemerintah daerah pun kemudian memainkan isu ini untuk hal yang lain, itu terlihat sekali. Nah, sementara pihak-pihak yang misalnya mungkin dari gereja, dari MUI juga pernah menyambangi yang pengungsi di sana juga hanya melakukan dan di awal-awal saja, yang kesininya mereka sudah tidak memperhatikan seolah-olah ya sudah itu sudah aman, padahal sebenarnya belum. Sehingga menurut saya selain bahwa diperlukan keseriusan dari pemerintah untuk melihat hal ini, tapi juga diperlukan kerjasama dari para pimpinan agama. Karena mau tidak mau, walaupun kita bilang oh ini bukan antara Islam dan Kristen, tapi tetap bahwa mereka sangat berperan karena pada kultur masyarakat di sini, pimpinan agama itu sangat didengar. Sehingga mereka harus berperan aktif untuk ini, untuk bersama-sama menciptakan dan membangun kepercayaan serta perdamaian pada konflik yang seperti ini. Saya kira itu.
Thank you so much. It was so shocking that from your explanation that this case hasn't been fixed until at the moment, and even they couldn't come back to their own place, return to their village. It was so shocking, not only surprising due to other medias to not report about this one, but then because this case hasn't really been fixed for after a very long time. So hopefully the local government as well as the leaders, the religious leaders could play better things, and we hope that there will be more people like you to highlight this issue. So that's why those parties will be able to pay more attention. Thank you so much, Dr. Anakota. This will be our first presentation, and if any other presenter would like to present, let us know. If there is no presentation, all the presenters and participants can also move to another breakout room just to enjoy other presentation. That's all. I will be here. Let me know if you have any question. Thank you so much. See you then.
Thank you.